Trump's uncle. You know, you hear about what he had access to. What do you know about it? How deep is that story?
I honestly don't know. I know he was brilliant at MIT. I think he had 2 PhDs, perhaps. Very, very smart man. Given the work he did, he may have been read into some of this. But again, it's so compartmented. I mean, one of the frustrations I've had is, you know, I'll meet with a scientist in a SCIF, a secure compartment information facility, and they're working on very deeply in one narrow area. And they don't know anything about what's here or here. The left and the right hand don't even know they exist. And so if he had any involvement with this, it would have been within a very narrow scope of work, because that's the nature of compartmented operations. And this is one of the problems when it's like a puzzle palace, that book about the National Security Agency. With this issue, to unpack it properly, you've got to come at it from 1,000 different directions of sources, methods, whistleblowers, evidence. That's what I founded the Disclosure Project 35 years ago to get to the bottom of this. But, and every time you think you hit the bottom, you find there are 15 more sub-basements. So it's a constant unpacking of what the facts are. And I will tell you, my opinion on this has changed a lot over the years. You know, when I first started, I really thought all the alien abductions were alien. And then I had some special operators that said, no, we're doing that. I said, how? I had no idea we had those kind of craft. I didn't know that we had man-made things that looked like a gray alien. I had no idea that there was an intention to create the specter of fear so that someday in the future they could play that card. I think we're at the point of that card being played. And I think my big concern, and I wrote a paper in 1999. Everyone should read it. And it's called When Disclosure Serves Secrecy. And meaning when disclosure serves this illegal secret government group. And all indications are, Pat, this is going to come out in the next year or so. But all indications are also that it's going to come out with that agenda to try to create an enemy that's external to humanity to impose a global totalitarian sort of superstate. And I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's actually what this has been building up to, unless we, the people, and our representatives, and the most powerful man in the world, the president, gets to the bottom of this and takes action to fix it. So I think we're in a very dangerous situation right now because of the paucity of good information. And I think the administration needs to have a much deeper understanding of this. We were all concerned when the White House released a couple of days ago saying the drones were normal FAA approved. We know that's not true. One of the guys on my team,
I saw that,
was one of the guys
Trump
on my.
said that. You're saying specifically Trump. He commented on that, right?
Well, the White House spokesperson did, is my understanding. I don't know if he did, but he's getting inadequate briefings. I'll just leave it at that. So one of the guys on my team runs a private corporate contracting entity that has contracted with Lockheed Skunk Works to go look at those, and he said, "No, this is a false flag operation, doing all kinds of skullduggery. It wasn't just a normal." And then the media hysteria around it. People go, "Oh, those were aliens." 100% of those were man-made. But to say that they were all FAA approved, this and that, I have a general that I know, Holt, who said point blank that that's not the case. I think the worst thing anyone can do in an office like the presidency or Congress is to speak on something when they're being not given the facts. And this is not the president's fault. It's the problem with the people around him who may not know. He promised to give people an answer, any answer, right? And so the answer that was proffered was not quite correct. So I think this needs to be looked at. I mean, this is an example of how things go sideways. And I would offer, look, I mean, I'm hardly an invisible person. I'm happy to give everything that I have in my archive. I have 762 whistleblowers with their names and contact information I'm willing to hand over today. Anyone who wants them, who is a legitimate law enforcement or the president or an investigative committee, happy to provide it. Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm on Minect. If you'd like to ask me questions or learn more about the UFO UAP issue, contact me there, and we can unpack whatever you want to know about the disclosure efforts, about covert technologies and what's going to be coming up in the next year or so as we go forward in a large disclosure on the extraterrestrial and UFO issue.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.